Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs today. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up today, we're going to talk about Amanda Seales. You guys, not necessarily Amanda Seales on the Club Shay Shay interview, because you guys, if I was being 100% honest with you, I'm not watching another 3-hour interview of nobody. I just can't do it. I'm tired of all these long ass interviews, okay? I understand it's a lot to be said, and it's that type of environment, you know, relaxed. Everybody's having a drink, you know, sitting around like the fireplace and just kind of shooting it, you know, chopping it up. I get it and all, but I'm not. So I apologize. I know somebody specifically asked me to watch the whole interview if I was going to speak on it, but I'm not really speaking on said interview. Now, I did watch a 45-minute, even that was long, but I did watch a 45-minute part of what we will be discussing, so I feel like I do have that part of the video in context. But what I really generally want to speak about more when we talk about Amanda Seales is basically whether or not you like her. That is pretty much what more of the chatter, more of the conversation on the blogs are these days, whether or not Amanda Seales is a pill that you can swallow. Now, I have said to you guys before that Amanda Seales is not necessarily my cup of tea. The way that she delivers her messages is not, it's kind of off-putting to me, all right? But I believe that Amanda Seales is a voice that is needed in our Black community. I've never felt that Amanda Seales does not want the best for Black people. I mean, she is for us. She is pro-Black, and I appreciate that about her. There are many times that I do agree with the things that Amanda said. There are times that I don't agree with the things that she says, okay? But that's just life in general. You are not going to always agree with anybody. That's because we have our own brains and our own minds and our own thinking processes. But in general, I can appreciate Amanda Seales. And like I said, I believe that she is a voice that is necessary. Now, is she radical? Some people may call her that. Is she in your face? Yeah, she's very much in her face. I think she's unapologetic in the way that she feels. And that's fine. But what I don't like is the general gang up on Amanda Seales that's going on now. And I guess you can debate whether or not she's put her own self in that position by constantly being, you know, doing the things that people pretty much accuse her of, you know, always speaking out, always being in your face. I mean, that is just who she is as a person. But yeah, I don't like the gang up on her. I do know that that is the name of the game these days, and that there is a lot of the crabs in the barrel mentality. Not necessarily that this is a crabs in the barrel type of situation, but you know, a lot of times people will just generally not like you because the masses don't like you. And I think that that's what Amanda is facing. Now, I will say that Amanda has had her times where she, you know, she has rubbed the people the wrong way. And I can see why there are a lot of people that do not like her. But the general gang up and everybody just having so much to say about her, it does bother me, okay? Because at some point, it's only so much a person can take. And honestly, if you don't like her, then you don't follow her. You don't listen to her. But, you know, now I know that the talk is all because she was on the Club Shay Shay interview. And so she opened herself up to it. I mean, she had to know that the criticism was going to come swiftly, especially with the topics that they were talking about. But, yeah, I just don't generally like the gang up. And yeah, I do believe that there are a lot of people who matter in Hollywood that don't like her. Whether or not that's because of something that she did or if it has been a point of her possibly being blacklisted. Now, this is what I did watch the Club Shay Shay. I watched a 45-minute video where she's talking about what we talked about years ago, back when it happened, when she was denied entrance into that Black Emmys party. And she spoke up on it a lot back then as well, but you know, that's kind of been quiet. But that was when we first started to get the realization that Amanda did not get along with the rest of the cast of Insecure. And that was when we were also worried that if this whole big, you know, this problem that the cast was having, if it was going to affect the show. I still feel like it did, in some way, did affect the show. Because what was her name on the show? Tiffany. She had a bigger role. She had a bigger role on the show, and then when all that stuff happened, they kind of, even though they kept her around, I mean, it would have been very hard to get rid of her, but they kept her around, but they phased her role out considerably. She didn't have as much to do as she had those first couple of seasons. But anyway, I think that it was very clear that Issa and quite possibly the cast did not like Amanda Seales for whatever reason. It might be reasons that we're not privy to. Okay. Again, Amanda doesn't rub everybody the right way. Okay. So, I thought it was pretty clear that Issa Rae just did not necessarily like her. And when that party happened, and Issa Rae's publicist was the person that denied her entry into this party, even though she had been invited, I think that most people can connect the feelings of Issa Rae's publicist with Issa Rae. I mean, you have a person that is your publicist. That means that person is, you know, they're most responsible for you and, you know, how you are perceived and everything. So really, if your publicists don't like me, I can pretty much surmise that the person that she is being a publicist for doesn't like me either. So that whole big thing happened. We even remember the Serranis boy coming out and saying nobody likes you on the show. Remember, that's when, like, the fourth wall was completely down. And that's when we really truly found out, like, when he said that nobody really liked her. And so, yeah, it's not surprising to me. The story that she gave back then matches the story that she tells us now. It's no different. She hasn't changed the story. Do I believe that that's what happened? Yes, I do believe that's what happened. Okay. And do I believe that Issa probably was quite dismissive, or just like, girl, I ain't got time. Yes, I do believe that. You can look at Issa Rae and tell that she is that type of person. She's a Capricorn. Okay. And one of the ways that Capricorns are is that when we just don't feel like fucking with you no more, we just don't. It don't really even have to be no whole big nothing. We just done. Okay. And we don't want to talk about it. We just over it. And I can very much see Issa Rae being that way towards Amanda, trying to distance herself because, yeah, that's the publicist and all. Like, Issa may have very well not have even said, I don't like her. But when the general knowledge is the feel that Issa might not like her, that, you know, she's frustrated with her or something. Issa being as powerful as she is in Hollywood, then people are going to sway the same way that Issa does, because people respect Issa. And so they are going to also, oh, Issa don't fuck with her, something must be wrong with her, we ain't fucking with her either. Okay. Might not even know the particulars of what have happened, but yeah, I do believe very much so in Hollywood you have to be careful, which is what Amanda was saying in the part that I watched, that you know, she's protected Issa because Issa's important. And you gotta understand that Issa also has she can pull the strings. I mean, I would like to think that she wouldn't. This is another black woman that's trying to work and earn a living just like anybody else, but you got to be careful when you dealing with people that have power like this in Hollywood. So yeah, I can I believe all of that what she said. She's going to continue to speak out. At this point, I'm just like, fuck it, girl. Don't nobody really like you like that anyway. I mean, just say what the hell you got to say, you know, and I think that that's probably where she is. In the long run, we'll see how this helps her or hinders her. But, yeah, I just don't like the general gang up. I don't like the general gang up because honestly, if you don't like a person, you just don't fuck with that person. Don't listen to them. I don't follow her and I don't see her until shit like this happens. Then it just be all over the place. But it's so very easy to just continue to scroll on, continue. You just because a person feels one way don't mean you got to be feeling that way as well, so just continue to scroll. But that's not easy for everybody. Now, as far as Amanda Seales being on Club Shay Shay, Amanda Seales is she's an extremely smart girl. And this is going to sound wrong, okay, but I don't think that the intellectual level that Amanda Seales matches the intellectual level of Shannon Sharpe. And there was a part now this was a clip that I watched, where she is explaining to him that she was diagnosed as being autistic, and like the Asperger's, I don't want to say version, but that she was that she had Asperger's syndrome, but she said that that's not what they call it anymore, but that was kind of what she had been diagnosed as. I don't know why it was not connecting in Shannon Sharpe's brain that this woman actually told you that she had been diagnosed, and he continued to challenge her on it, and it was just the most frustrating. How long was that one clip I watched? Maybe frustrating 5 or 6 minutes of her explaining to this man that yes, she had been diagnosed. Well, just because you mean tell me that just because your brain operate different than my brain, that means that you autistic? That don't mean that you on the spectrum. Nigga, she just said she was diagnosed. Like, he could not seem to understand it, and the fact that he was arguing her down and that she actually was able to keep a level head and all of that. Because I'm sure she probably was like, I can't cuss this man out. This his show, sorry, everybody already think that I go off on people all the time. So, so she tried to keep it together, but I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? She just told you, it was almost as if, because now I will admit, I don't watch Shannon Sharpe's interviews unless they're the ones that go viral like this. I'm sure he has had plenty other people on his show. But it seemed like he was doing quite a bit of debating with her. And it was just like, Shannon, you're not a debater. Why are you doing this? I almost felt like somebody had told him, make sure that you debate. Make sure that you make this a conversation where you're matching her wit, matching her intelligence, and not saying that Shannon Sharpe is stupid, but he ain't the person to be trying to go back and forth with Amanda Seales with. So watching that, I just was like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? From what I understand, the interview was entertaining enough for people. I can see how Amanda Seales would be. She's just not for everybody. She is just not for everybody. You have some friends that, you good friends with, but you also can see why everybody else don't like them, because there is that thing about them. Okay, you love them because you know them, but especially people that don't know you, you are misunderstood and all that. So I get it, but yeah, the gang up, that's what I don't like. I don't like it, and nobody should be trying to shut the woman down, because I do believe that many times she makes a lot of sense, and says what needs to be said. You guys, like I said, it just ain't for me. So anyway, you guys, y'all let me know what you think about it. If you did watch the whole interview, and if you can lend more insight to what was said there and all, I just honestly, I just can't do these 3-hour things. I can't do them, y'all. I can't. Next topic. All right, you guys, your girl Meg the Stallion, mama named her Megan Pete, has found herself in hot water. Child, this time she's being sued by her former photographer, Emilio Garcia, who filed a lawsuit saying that he was trapped inside of a moving vehicle while Meg the Stallion had sex with another woman as he sat right next to her when they were over in Spain. I guess she was performing out there. So the way the story goes is that they were in a car. He worked for her as a photographer. He's been working for her since 2018. In 2019, he quit his full-time job and he became her full-time photographer. You know, a lot of times these entertainers like to have a photographer or videographer following them, so they document their whole life. And so he says that yeah, he was working for her and everything was going along as it had been up until 2022 when they were over in Spain. He said after, I guess, a performance, they were in like a limousine truck or something. Not a limousine truck, I'm telling my age, but you know, like a big SUV, Cadillac SUV or Yukon or whatever, Suburban. And there were 3 women that were in the truck along with Meg. And Meg ended up having sex with one of the ladies, like I said, while she sat right next to the photographer, let him tell it. So he said that he was so shocked, he couldn't believe that they were having sex, like right there, like in the middle of everything. Now, the next day, apparently, she asked him, was he in the car? Which means to me that she probably was either extremely fucked up or high or both, okay? And because she couldn't even remember. I mean, how fucking big is the car? I understand it's a whole bunch of people, but nigga, ain't more than 10, 12 people gonna be in this car. You know, you can't even remember that. Not even that many, you know. So she told him that he was never to speak on what he saw. And he said after that, I guess maybe he had voiced to somebody or maybe even heard that he ain't like that shit. And it either she knew it or it got back to her, and he said that she started to treat him differently and she created a toxic and hostile work environment, and then she started to talk to him differently. She said that she would fat shame him, call him fat ass, tell him to put down food, you know, when he was eating and all of that, and it just got to a point where he thought maybe he needed to stop working for her. Well, maybe she figured that day was coming, so instead of him quitting on her, she ended up firing him in 2023. He said that when he quit his job and was working for her full time, that he was on a regular monthly salaried pay. But after this incident happened, he was changed to a pay per performance type of pay, where he had to invoice every time he worked for her. And because of that, you know, he was considered like an independent contractor as opposed to being like an employee. So he didn't have insurance and all of that. So when he got fired, June 2023, I guess, you know, he done sat down with himself and decided, you know what, I ain't sat around for all that shit just to have nothing now. He says that he's anxiety and depression. You guys know how it goes. Okay, that he need his money. You know, he got all these issues, medical issues now, and he can't even pay for it because he don't have insurance. He's asking her to pay his legal fees, everything. And yeah, this is, man, I mean, it's not impossible to believe. We have heard that Meg Thee Stallion gets plenty fucked up. She's even said it herself. And we've even heard stories that she might not be the nicest person. And just, not even just Meg Thee Stallion, but in general, you hear about a lot of times these, you know, people doing the most. Just doing the most. I would sure hope that this is not true, and that Meg Thee Stallion was not moving this way. However, you know, I'm just going to take we going to wait and see stance on this. So he is suing for unpaid wages. He's suing for money. Okay, they haven't disclosed how much the amount is, but he's suing for money. Unpaid wages, unpaid overtime, and other employee benefits like at the legal rate. And then he's also seeking statutory penalties and wage penalties pursuant to California labor laws, punitive damages according to proof, and cost he incurred, including attorney fees, like I said. So yeah, he is suing. And you know, I was reading a lot of people was just like, well, if he was a photographer, then he should have some footage and all that. I doubt that he would have footage. I'm sure he didn't break out the camera and record, you know, these people having sex. First of all, that's porn. And secondly, if he released it, that's revenge porn. I mean, I guess he could give it to the courts. But I doubt that he would even have that, so it just kind of goes by the whether or not you are going to believe this story, whether or not they can get some people to corroborate the story, all of that. Now, if all them people in that car was Meg's people, he gonna have a hard ass fight, okay? Because, unless somebody is also tired of the bullshit that Meg might be throwing around out there, them people gonna keep their mouth shut. All right, so we'll just see what happens with that, but that is unfortunate. I surely hope that this girl ain't going around fucking women in the car with this man next to him, and all this. People are like, you didn't want to see two women having sex. Well, you guys, everybody don't want to see that. Everybody don't want to see that, so it is what it is, y'all. We're gonna just keep our eye on it. We'll see where that lawsuit goes. And when we know more, I will let you know more. All right, you guys, next story up, Neyo. Baby, Neyo has been in the news way entirely too much, like in the blogs too much. I've never wanted to see this man in the blogs this much. I do really enjoy Neyo's albums and all, but, extremely talented and all that. We don't deny that, but y'all, he gets on my damn nerves so much. This new thing is him and the two women, that's his two girlfriends. I didn't even bother to get their names, y'all, but we've been seeing him, the paps have been catching up with him, asking him his feelings on polygamy, and we see him on the boat, and living it up, and big booties and little waist and long curly hair weaves and wigs and whatnots. Good looking girls. You guys know how it goes, okay? But the funny thing about all this, and not funny haha, but the funny like damn, hindsight is 2020, okay, is that y'all remember Sade Bagnarise? Y'all remember how I was having a hard time trying to say that girl's name back in the day? You guys should remember her, because she is the girl that I told you guys about when Crystal Renee and Neyo finally did break up for the last time, when she found out that he had not only had a baby with this Sade girl, but also had another baby on the way. Okay, and this was only maybe a year after these two had remarried. All right, they were married. They were she had filed for divorce already, but the divorce never went through, and then the pandemic happened, and they found themselves sheltering in place together, and that brought them back closer together. She was like, this is my best friend, we're going to get married again, so they had another huge big wedding, and looked like everything in the Neyo household was doing well. And then let Crystal tell it. She said on a Breakfast Club interview recently that when he was on the Breakfast Club and they were asking him about whether or not he'd have a problem, something to the effect of whether or not he'd have a problem with his significant other having an affair or messing around, and he just kind of was just sort of like, oh, he wouldn't worry himself about it. And Crystal felt like that was a strange response for a man who's married to a woman who would not want his woman to be having sex, we would think anyway. She kind of felt like he was projecting, like, you... Is that shooting? Bitch, that sound like it's shooting, don't it? Did you guys hear that? Hold on, bitch, because I can't be out here getting caught now trying to give y'all the news. Oh, I don't know what that was. Sure. Anyway, I'm at McDonald's, y'all. I might have to do a mad dash, y'all. But anyway, she was saying that she felt that was a strange response for a man that should be in a committed marriage relationship, And so she started to dig, and that's when she found out about Ms. Bagnarise. Now, I will tell you that as a woman, Crystal probably deep down inside had some gut feelings. Some shit wasn't looking right, and she was trying not to make a big deal about it, or she was trying to push them feelings down. But, your gut, bitch, the gut be knowing. Okay, as a woman, when shit like this come up, when you have an idea that your man is fucking around, usually that's what it is. Okay, so, you know, but she got the confirmation that he had gotten this woman pregnant and had a baby already. And that's when she was just like, oh no, nigga, you know, you ain't got to fool me twice. So she was out, all right? And then we saw him with the Sade Bagnery's girl, and that was supposed to be going fine. But now we find out that he ain't no longer with Sade, and he with these other two women. So now who is complaining quite much like the way that, first of all, Manetta had already told us about Neo. Okay, she had already told us. Now, I know Manetta is in a totally different place now. She's happy. She's married. She has her other family. You know, her and Neo have come to terms. She has accepted him for who he is. These are her kids' father, you know, so she deals with him, you know, the way that she deals with him, and they have a good relationship. However, we ain't gonna forget the shit that she said when she was pissed at the nigga, because that was when we heard all of his dirt, you know. And so when Crystal got with Neo, it was just sort of like, girl, now Manetta done already told you what it was. And then Crystal had to find out the hard way, right? Okay, now here we got Sade. Again, I ain't a kick a bitch when you down kind of girl over here, but what I'm saying is we can't feel sorry for you when this man, first of all, you got with them the wrong way to begin with, all right? He was still actively married, and you knew that. Even if he had been telling you, oh, I'm gonna leave her, or oh, it ain't working, or whatever, like, you knew that this man was still with her, and you still chose to try to have, you know, start a family with him. And then when he turned around and did the same thing to you that he had did to Crystal and Manetta, it's just sort of like, girl, well, how you expect us? You posting this video, now she got a video out where she's fussing at him. All he do is he be drinking, and he on drugs, and he be with prostitutes, and he don't be spending time with his kids. And I was just like, sound familiar? Listen, I don't like when women have to go through these things and find out that they nigga ain't shit, you know, especially when they rich and all of that. It's just like, that just adds extra insult to injury. It's like, nigga, why you? But what I'm saying is, girl, we don't feel nothing. I mean, you posting this video, unless it's just your homegirls that was just gonna be like, yeah, that nigga ain't no good. The rest of us is just like, girl, and what you want us to do with this? Because you already should have knew the way you got him. And I don't even like saying this because I don't always think that is true. But in this case, the way that you got him is the way that you lost him. All right, what made you think that he was gonna treat you any differently than the other two women that he actually married? Okay, well, he didn't never marry Manetta, but he married Crystal, you know. Like, what made you think that he was going to treat you any differently? Okay, a puss is a puss at the end of the day, baby. You can shave it up real pretty, all right? You can get it bleached so it's all one color down there, all right? You can do all of that. But the puss is going to do what the puss going to do, and it's just he can just move on to the next. Nothing about yours is making it any more special. That's awful to say, but that is the truth in this case. So nobody really feels sorry for Sade. It's just like, girl, a hard head make a soft ass. I tell the kids that all the time. What the? Okay, it's a car backfiring. I was just like, what is happening here? What is happening here, y'all? Y'all don't worry about what's happening up here. I had to push this shit back because I didn't put no product on my hair, and it was about this big. I was just like, I can't be up here looking like shocker, y'all. So I had to do the little pin back on there. I don't know, it might not look right, but that's what it is. But yeah, you know, now she's upset, and now she's posting videos and everything, and I know that at least Crystal is over there just like, girl, I don't know what you want us to do about this. Okay, and having a good little sniggle and giggle about it. So yeah, you know, par for the course, girl, par for the course. Just get in line, okay? It's a lot of women in his wake that he is pissed off. So yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. That's all we got for you. Okay, we do this every single week. Let me explain to you guys, because I don't know why we getting so confused on this. We do this on Tuesdays and Fridays, okay? You get a top of the blogs today on Tuesday, and you get a top of the blogs today. You get 2 of them on Friday, all right? And on Wednesday evenings, I ask you guys, what should I talk about in the video that's going to be for today? Usually on the Tuesday video, I don't ask you guys. I just pick the topic myself, or whatever the topics are going to be. Okay. But yeah, that's the only thing that has changed. You know, I was going to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I was like, Roxanne, I know you're not going to do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we're going to stick to the Tuesday and the Friday. All right. And anything else I might throw in there, but that is the top of the blog days that will be posting up. Okay. And I'm going to try really hard to make sure I stick to that schedule so I don't confuse you guys any further. All right. But like I said, we do this every single week, Tuesday and Friday. So make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.